It's filled with all these plastic balls. And no matter how old you are, who doesn't love jumping in a giant ball pit? The levels of the canal fluctuate all the time, and where I'm standing right now, officials tell me just 2 days ago was all the way up to here. There were 64 accidents last year on Main Street alone, and all of them were results of jaywalking. That's why they've started putting in all these crosswalks, not only out there on the main road, but also here on the side street. The final stretch of the race is to take a long jog up these stairs. Those runners really have their work cut out for them. Now, the evidence prosecution has against Manafort will be giving us the first glimpse into what they've been working on in the Mueller investigation over the past year. The village of Brockport is a pretty small place, but they're doing what they can to make the most of what they have here. And over the past year, they've added a bunch of new businesses here on Main Street. And there's orange cones all around, just like this one, blocking the entrance so that nobody can get down into that area. Another thing to remember is just to take it slow when the roads are slippery. About 5 inches fell last night, and as you can see behind me, it has certainly piled up. Police tell me she was driving too fast on icy roads and lost control of the car. There have been complaints from the groundskeeper about vandalism on many of the tombstones. As for the confirmation, Democrats are saying they'll oppose it, but they don't have much leverage.
This is my left and my right hand.
Mike Spencer had been shooting mortar shells for 30 years. In that time, he'd never gotten more than a scratch, until 2015.
I took the mortar shell and lit the fuse and held it above my head. It exploded in my hands.
He had purchased the illegal firework at a roadside stand. The accident cost him several of his fingers.
I opened my eyes and all I could see was red. I held my hands up in front of my face and I watched the blood spray up out of my hands with every heartbeat.
He spent 21 days in the hospital, undergoing 11 surgeries to bring his hands back to normal. But his life will never be the same. This is an example of the type of firework that Mike was using when his injury occurred. So if you're going to be using these types of fireworks, the best thing to do is just to set it down, light the firework, and walk away. That's according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Acting Chairman Anne-Marie Buerkle also says you should never lean over and look down at a firework.
Understand that intrinsically this is a dangerous product and you need to be very careful when you're handling it. Always have a bucket of water and a hose nearby.
The CPSC says there were 8 reports of fireworks-related deaths in 2017, up slightly from the year before. There were also 12,900 fireworks-related injuries in 2017. Sparklers were the most common cause of these injuries.
Fireworks don't always go as planned. They are explosive devices and they are very dangerous. Leave the fireworks to the professionals.
Celebrating the holiday without risking tragedy. In Washington, I'm Kayla Green.
I think that's like the goal of human life. We're supposed to always be there for each other.
Being there for each other is exactly what students from all over the country are learning to do here at the R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore. The Stop the Bleed program is designed to teach kids how to handle excessive bleeding during mass casualties, such as school shootings. It's a skill set that not many people outside the medical field and the military know, but it could mean the difference between life and death.
The clock starts ticking when you get hurt, not when you get to the hospital.
You can put the arm right here, just so you can use both your hands.
Students learn how to pack a wound, apply a tourniquet, and how to talk to an injured person.
The person's bleeding, and they might be screaming in pain, oh my God, I'm dying. What are you gonna say?
It's okay, I'm doing this to save your life.
Working through someone's pain is something that students say scares them.
They could be screaming or yelling and telling you to stop, and you just have to continue.
Stop, I'm saving your life.
This training is important for everyone, but for high school students in particular, the reality hits close to home. With so many school shootings in 2018 alone, they're starting to prioritize safety over anything else.
I really do think that along with CPR that we learn in health class, high school, I think that this should be something that we learn because it's happening everywhere. It happened 20 miles from where I live.
This is arming the public with power. It's a powerful tool, the ability to save a life.
In Baltimore, I'm Kayla Green.
I got it. Whoa, in here.
When was the last time you jumped in a ball pit? Played with marbles? Built a fort? The new Funhouse exhibit at the National Building Museum in Washington, D.C. is giving you a chance to become a kid again.
Although it does seem on its surface super kid-friendly, I think adults walk in here and kind of have that same experience.
So glad to be here.
Funhouse is the latest summer block party installation in the Great Hall. It's a collection of the past 10 years of work from New York-based design firm Snarkitecture.
Everything they do is white, as you can see. They want to strip away all the colors so that you're really looking at the materiality, the essence of what that thing is.
Made up of hundreds of materials, Funhouse really is a house. It has a front yard, several rooms, and a backyard with a pool. But this pool isn't filled with water. It's filled with all these plastic balls. And no matter how old you are, who doesn't love jumping in a giant ball pit? Other popular areas in Funhouse are the Light Cavern, Marble Run, and Pillow Fort.
It's super comfortable to sit on. It's also so fun to see what kids do in that space versus what adults do. You know, we use it as a place to relax and sit down, but they're building forts and jumping off and creating these, structures that adults just aren't doing.
Should we put this one here on top?
And with so many museums in the nation's capital telling you not to touch the historic artwork, families are finding this is one exhibit inviting them to jump in.
Nice.
In Washington, I'm Kayla.